Hey everyone, Jamie Phillips, Action Auto Parts. I am out of breath. We've been over there on that 97 Ford E 350 van. It popped up on Marketplace for sale, and it's at a kind of like a homeless community. These people live in these cabins and stuff. So anyway, it messed up on them the other day, and so I came down, made a deal, bought it, paid for it. I talked to Quentin, and he's off today. He said he'd been sick, but he said he's feeling better, and he would try to come and get it here in a few hours. So I had many people said, yeah, if you beat us there, so we're on our way. And well, crap, I got down here and we tried to start it, but they let the battery get dead on it, and we couldn't get the jump. But it ain't got but 100,000 miles, and I know the church that used to own it, and I'm sure it was serviced really, really good. These people's not had it that long, and they were actually driving it and went to one of the local Dollar General stores and got in it, started up, they put it in drive, it would die. Put it in reverse, it'd back up, park or neutral would run. So done a little homework. Could be the torque converter, but then there's other sensors and modules. I've seen all different kinds of things, and one guy talked about a vacuum leak, but you know, I just want to part it out. I was hoping it'd have the 351 in it, but it's got a 302. But it's it's got the big, the big rear end, and it's got a brand new set of tires on it. I mean, the tits are still out on them, 16-inch tires. So yeah, I went ahead and got it bought. It was funny. I was about time I went to make them an offer, and I honestly came up with this figure. The guy said, well, we done been offered this. And I said, well, I was going to offer you this, which is $50 more. And one of the guys came out, I guess that could answer the ads on Marketplace, and I got a $400 offer. He said, well, this guy's offered more than that. And so yeah, there you go. Got it bought, and hopefully Quentin can grab it this afternoon sometime later and bring it up. And it's like a 15-passenger van, but I got a feeling it's just that battery was why it didn't want to start. It was just completely dead. And I got a battery for Betty out of Advance, and I think they've given me the wrong one, because when I went to put it in, I couldn't get my cables hooked up right. I had to kind of switch ends, and by doing so, it don't leave me the adequate room to get jumper cables on it. But it was like, I was out there in my wife's vehicle, picked it up, and put it on, and I had to drive the truck. And then all this big cold snap hit. We only had with the wind chill yesterday, it was like 8 degrees. So today don't feel a whole lot better, but I'd been at the junkyard and answering a few questions and what have you, but I kind of told a few people, yeah, I should be back by 1, because these people said, well, we're on our way, and I left the junkyard at 10 till 12, and it's now a few minutes after 1, and I have to go into town and get some gas for Betty, so I ain't gonna make it back to 1. But that is part of the thrills and chills of trying to run a junkyard. I mean, you got to go out and try to buy some stuff, and this was a good deal. I think the tires alone should bring about half of what I paid for it, and I think the motor is going to be good. And then it's got a good hood and bumper and fenders and stuff. So nothing else. It gets down to a point, yank all them seats out, and it's another good storage building. So I've bought vans before, and you think, well, they don't part out good, and they don't like a car or a truck or an SUV or something, but still in time they've actually done pretty good, because there's people trying to keep vans on the road, and they got to have parts like anybody else. So I'm gonna head into town. I cut through the country, which actually was, even though it was crooked roads, it was 3 minutes faster. Turn this around right quick. Here's something we've got. It's our Stanford Drive-In. That thing's been there since back in the 50s, I think it was. And oh Lord, the original Twister movie, not the one that's out now. I watched it. It's not as good as the first one. I'm sorry. But the old one, literally, it was all concrete block, huge wall, and a tornado knocked it down. And so they, by the time they cleaned it up and got that one that's up now up there, plus it blew the roof off of the concession stand. And that concession stand was so cool because it had all this old stuff still in it, so they had to redo it. But the very first movie they showed when they got the new screen, that was Twister when it came out, which was kind of a little ironic twist and a joke that you lose the drive-in to a Twister, and the first movie you show is Twister. So, yeah, my gas light's flashing. Fuel level is low, Betty says. So, and I'm almost into town, saying, well, there's somebody on a golf cart. Well, they're just going over into the cemetery. This is Buffalo Springs Cemetery. This is the old part. There's some really early graves there. And I've not been back there in a while. I need to go, but on this back side, back over that little rise, that's where my mom and dad and my older brother's all buried right there by each other. And so I knew my dad would have liked to have been on the old side. He was kind of an old fart as far as mentality. He liked Western days and all that kind of stuff. And so what the plots were bringing at the time, I bought two for the price, or I bought three, I'm sorry, for the price of two. This guy had them and didn't need them. And so we buried my dad first, and then my older brother died, and we buried him in the third one over, and then his wife bought the one next to that. And then when my mom passed, we put her beside my dad, and between him and my older brother. And so, yeah, we got that done. Real quick, another little thing here. There's the Fox Funeral Home. I worked there for a few years, and that's what our family always uses. And I've actually got to go back. I bought a bunch of stuff out of the attic. And I got part of it, and I've sold a lot of it. I had like a wicker casket out of the 20s or something was up there, and I still got some of them, but they're like suits that if you didn't have a suit and they went to bury you, these were already cut where you just drape them over them, because when you put somebody in a casket, you got to cut the back out of the shirt and the jacket, and you drape their arms through it, blah blah blah. And so these are like probably out of the 50s, and they're still in the boxes. I know it's weird maybe to some of y'all, but I do have some cool funeral home stuff. I sold the casket to my buddy Jack Ray. We just passed his place, and he's got like a, I can't remember the year, 1915 Thele hearse, and through all the Thele records, it's the only one known in the world. And there's a big Thele International thing, whatever. But he's got that wicker casket in the back of it. So I'm pulling in here to one of the local gas stations. I normally run out to 5 Star, but this is quick and they'll pump it right fast. So yeah, talked about a van, talked about everything else. So give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.